All right, hey guys, welcome. This is Strength for Today. Man, this is volume 25. And today I have something I want to ask first. Can you desire something that you've never had before? Think about that question. And while you're thinking about that question, let's go to 1 Peter 1:8. And I'm going to read the NIV. 1 Peter 1:8 says, though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy. Desiring God is what I'll talk about. That's what I want to talk about. Desiring God. The reason why I asked that question to open this up, can you desire something that you've never had before? Many of you probably answered yes. Some answered no. And then there's those that are in between, yes and no. I think you can desire something that you've never had before, depending on what it is. And it's not a type of question that I want to open up for, debate or anything. It's just a question I wanted to ask because of the direction of today's little message, desiring God. Many people know I enjoy cooking and they love my peach cobbler. And I have to say, like Les Brown, when you get my peach cobbler, you cannot eat it with your shoes on. You got to take your shoes off so you can wiggle your toes because it's just that good. I'm telling you like it is. It's just that good. So, leading to the question that I ask, can you desire something that you've never had before? If I would sit you down and explain to you what all went into making my peach cobbler, the peaches, the sugar, the vanilla, the nutmeg, all the secret ingredients I put in it, and all the butter that goes into the peach cobbler and the flaky crust, all of that. If I just told you about it and shared with you how delicious it is, especially when you put vanilla ice cream or whipped cream on top, it is wonderfully delicious. I mean, the flavor towns just go crazy in your mouth. And I got a buddy named Toast. He loves my peach cobbler. And I'm trying to get it to him, hey, I don't know when I can get it to you, man, but hey, it's in the works. But just the fact that I can explain to you how delicious that peach cobbler is. Right now, you're probably thinking how wonderful it would be to have some peach cobbler, right? So actually, you're desiring something that you've never had before, my peach cobbler. Many of those that have had my peach cobbler, they're desiring it now, just from me talking about it. Well, today, what I'm reading here in 1 Peter, it kind of reminds me of when kids head off to college and parents often find themselves looking at the family photos. They're going back, reminiscing on all of the good days. And they're capturing moments of times past. And there are those that even now, you'll look at your phone and look at all the photos of your kids if they've gone off to college or if they've moved out, started a life on their own. You're flipping and you're scrolling through all the photos of loved ones that are away from home now. There's an old adage that says absence makes the heart grow fonder. Many experience that in relationships. If their loved one is away for a certain amount of months, now their heart is yearning for that person because they love that person. They want to be with that person. Well, the recipients of Peter's first letter, they never experienced being around Jesus. They never had a chance to meet him face to face. They never had the opportunity to hear him speak. They never had the opportunity to witness any of his miracles. They never had the opportunity to feel his presence and see him in action. But when they heard about him through many of the missionary efforts of the early church, especially in Acts, something changed them. Something they heard changed them. They found themselves loving Jesus and being filled with joy as they anticipated an eternity with him. And that was all through the efforts of the early church and how they shared the love of Jesus, how they talked about the love of Jesus. Again, if you look at Acts 2, which was actually the beginning of the church, and how all of those that were up in the upper room were filled with the Holy Ghost, and they came out speaking in other tongues. And those that were around during that festival time heard their language. And they're like, who are these men? They're speaking my language. And they're speaking about a man that sounds so great and so wonderful and done just marvelous things. Who is this? What in the world is going on here? And just by hearing that, they said, what must I do to be saved? I want to be saved. I want what they have. Now they're starting to desire someone they've never met, someone they don't know. And they're being filled with such joy just by what they're hearing. And I think that is important for us today. Is your testimony so moving that people are desiring to have what you have? And if they're not, we need to reassess our testimony, our lifestyle. What are we really showing people that we're around? If they're not desiring or wanting to know more, what kind of lifestyle are we living? But just as absence can make the heart grow fonder, it also can produce forgetfulness. If a person is away long enough, you start to forget little things about them. They say out of sight, out of mind. If a person is out of sight for so long, don't you begin to forget certain things? You don't think about them as often. You don't talk about them as often. But during this time, the recipients of Peter's letter experienced a growth of desire for the Lord, not forgetfulness. And the reason why that is because just like parents do, when they bring out the photos, they bring out all the pictures, it's now consistently before them. So what was happening here was they held the reality of Jesus before them as often as possible. They gave them the opportunity to hear about Jesus on a daily basis. And this gave the people great joy to hear about Jesus. And it's like, this is how I want the podcast to be. That you hear about Jesus and you see my enthusiasm and you feel what I feel about Jesus in my heart. You feel the excitement that I feel when I talk about Jesus, that every day you look forward to hearing a little more. Man, he encouraged me yesterday, so I can't wait till tomorrow. Man, that word was just on time. It was right on time. I can't wait to hear what he's going to have tomorrow. And that's what the early church had. They had that excitement. They had that consistency of hearing Jesus, hearing about Jesus, the talking about Jesus, the testimonies of Jesus, the demonstrations of what Jesus was doing. They were excited about hearing more. Now they're desiring more of him. And that's what I would like for many of you today, to desire more of God. And the only way that you can desire more of God is you have to read more of his word. You have to pray more. You have to seek him more. And the more you do that, the more you're going to start desiring more of God. You only desire more of what you don't have because you want more of it, because of what you're experiencing now, and you're desiring more. I want more of that. And I'm going to close with this. Father, I have not seen you. Help me to love you. I desire to know you. Help me to desire you more. Do you want to know more about God? Do you have a desire to know more about God? Do you even desire more of God? And if I can encourage you, if anything today, is to desire more of God. My prayer is that you desire more of him each and every day. This is Strength for Today's Man, Volume 25. Desiring God. Put that at the top of your list. You guys go out and make it a great day. Be blessed, and we'll see you on the next podcast.